Drew Hart, what's going down, my homie?
Boo, dude, two more. I feel like this is like the theme for these intros is like, where am I and what's going on with my
Where's
life?
Drew? What's going on with Drew?
Yeah,
Tell us about Drew.
Yeah, but it's Wisconsin summer now. It's beautiful. And then we've only got 2 more months. It's done a long journey here with like all these changes and stuff. But man, switching gears, like this is yet another really cool conversation that we got planned for today.
Yeah, we got an immigrant who lives in Canada. He's originally from, I think, Moldova, if I remember that correctly. Named
I think
Andrei.
it was Romania.
Romania. Okay, definitely USSR.
Yeah,
old school USSR. And Andrei is a guy that started cleaning toilets, I think, and from toilets to e-commerce, and he's become very successful with his own brands, and has now started a software company. So from toilets to riches. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to digging in with him and sharing some of his knowledge.
Yeah, sure. I think the things that get me most excited about talking with him is, it's the other half of the marketing coin for Amazon seller, actually for any retailer, to be honest with you. You got the advertising side. We spent a ton of time talking about PPC and optimizations. But the other piece is the listing and conversion rate. And I'm really excited about talking about it because he's got a lot of expertise in this stuff. He really understands like how to think about and approach putting a listing together that converts. And we know this. I know you know this, Ian. It's like conversion rate is like literally the #1 focus for us, like with our clients. I mean, of course, like advertising and PPC and single keyword campaigns and top of search placements and organic ranking and all those things are super important too. But for some reason, I always feel like listings are second or third or fourth place in sellers' minds on how great they need to be. Like most sellers think that they're going to be good, but they really need to be great. And so I'm looking forward to this conversation to learn more about Andrei's views on this stuff because this is his specialty.
All right, well, let's bring the man in. So usually we start with origins, beginnings. How you got to Andrei, the e-commerce machine that you are today. So like, tell us. There's a story obviously with you getting to Canada, and then from there, what brought you into the e-commerce world?
Okay, so I came to Canada in 2010 with $600 to my soul, and did a bunch of odd jobs like renovation. I don't know, I changed so many toilets and washed so many ovens and stuff like that because I had to work and I had to make some money. And then I quickly got tired of all that stuff, and I said, I'm pretty good at design. Let me get back to what I was doing back in my country. So I went back into crafting icons and all those royalty-free images that you buy on stocks when you need to buy to craft something, right? And then I got tired of that thing, and I discovered Smart Passive Income by Pat Flynn. And he was talking about making thousands and thousands of dollars online. That got me really hooked. So I was basically doing my, how do you call that guy that takes care of the building, right? The janitor, right? So yeah. I was having my headphones and listening to Pat Flynn. And that dude got me so inspired that I was like, I want to quit this bullshit and just start an entrepreneurial journey the proper way. So that led me to building niche websites. So basically you find a profitable keyword and you build a website around that. You build links and you build content and stuff like that. So you hire some guys from India or from Pakistan to write your content if you can do it yourself. And obviously I wasn't good at all at that. So I did that and built a few websites, got some passive income going. And then on a podcast, there was a guy, there was an accountant, and I don't remember whose podcast was that, but was in that niche. And that gentleman talked about Amazon and how he's crushing it and how he left his, I don't know, $100-something thousand a year salary, which was phenomenal for me. And he went to doing Amazon, and that got hooked me. So I started importing cables and accessories for iPhones cables and accessories for iPhones from China. And I started selling them to shops random in Montreal. So I was the dealer for all the accessories for smartphones and, and all that stuff in my area. And then I started selling them on Amazon. It got closed by Amazon like 8 times by Apple, because it comes out you can't really sell iPhone chargers and all that stuff. So that was a good learn. And then I found my private label product, so I kind of started a brand, and it led from there. Yeah.
And what timeline is that? What year did you start your private label brand?
So I started in 2015 or 14, if I'm not mistaken. But I registered my company in 2015. Yeah.
And since then, have you started other brands? I know you have a software business as well. We can talk about that, but or is that the same brand you still have today?
So I still have all of those brands. A lot of them failed, and I have basically 2 of them that are still running, right? But I've started like 5 of them because I was experimenting, and all of my knowledge that I have right now, it's basically learned from my fuck ups. So
100%. I love that.
That's like the secret, right? Fuck up. Win.
I failed so many times. I basically, so I have a brands where we manufacture wood products for kitchen, like cutting boards. And I've opened a facility and closed it 2 times here in Montreal. And I learned that doesn't really make sense to manufacture premium stuff in Canada, right in the heart of Montreal. It's better to go a little bit more outside because it's a little bit cheaper and stuff like that. And I almost went to China. That's very interesting because my cost of running the second time was $15,000 a month, and my profit was around $15,000 a month. And I was looking like, I think I'm wasting my time with just like making somebody else a living, and me just like barely surviving. So I closed it, and I was thinking to go to China. And it's good that I didn't go, because that was my unique selling proposition, because I was made in Canada, high quality wood from US. And if I go to China, then I'm competing against everyone else, because if you go on Alibaba and you search for a wood cutting board, my cutting board is over there. They stole my products, my images, and it's all over Alibaba. It's like, how do I compete with those guys? Because they knock off everything you have. So we stayed here. We outsourced production. We become a little bit more lean, so we don't have as much waste, and just rebuilding everything back, that kind of stuff. Another brand got really hit by China because they commoditized the sport and outdoor stuff for us, and that's kind of like trickled down. And so it's basically this kitchen product brand and my my software. And the last one, the one that I was kind of like resisting as much as possible, is the design agency. I have no website until like yesterday. I just registered the domain name. But I was doing services for 2 years for my friends, because people come to Sellametrics and they're like, hey, Andrei, we did all these tests. Like, do you know a guy that can help us with the design to actually like make what's on that results? I'm like, yeah, like I think I can help you, right? So that's how it started, and it went from there. I didn't do any posts, haven't posted anything, and I think doing like a 6-figure just from that. And I was kind of like pushing that away, and with time I noticed that, listen, this thing is coming to me. I know it the best. So it looks like this is a direction that I'm going to push, and I'm going to utilize this to also push Sellametrics. So that's kind of like my marketing idea with all this thing, is like have my design agency, like a boutique agency, that's we do like really intense conversion directed work, like a growth, like a design agency focused on growth and conversion, and utilize analysis and split testings and my knowledge as a seller to craft better selling listings. That's the idea. And actually fixing my own stuff as well and making it as good as possible.
I would only hope. I was thinking about that. Like everything you're learning should be helping your cutting board business. And I'm interested in something. I want to know from you, how do you how do you manage a premium product with a whole Chinese competition, made in Canada, wood sourced from the US, whatever that communication is to the audience? How do you actually get them to pay that extra $20, $30 for a cutting board? And what would you say to other people who are trying to launch premium products on Amazon today? Because it seems really hard to me.
Yeah, Andre, I think that's what my head was at too. And I want to hear about like your specific experience, but also like more generalized, like how do you play the premium angle on Amazon?
You will be surprised, but that's what was bothering my mind, and that's what I was thinking on for the last like 4 years. How do I sell a luxury product? And actually, all those thoughts led me to understanding all this thing better. So I'm able to help others by just like understanding what makes products sell. But luxury is even harder because, well, you have a price tag and actually I'm like $70, $80, and China is like 40. Yes, my conversion rate is lower, but I do sell. Like sometimes we sell like 30, 40 units a day of like an $80 cutting board, which you can find from China for 40, 50. And we sell by having, well, I was going to lead into that with my like, because the idea that I had today on the topic was to talk about how to improve your conversion rate, how to sell better. So basically this is kind of the same thing. And
it is the same thing. And also how to sell your product specific to your niche, right? That's how to talk to your audience.
First, you have to be a match. You have to sell to the right audience. Because if you're trying to sell to the wrong audience, you're going to end up with a lot of headache, with a lot of returns. But how do you do that? How do you find the right audience? Well, you have to match. First of all, you have to look like you are a premium brand. So everything on your listing has to communicate luxury, excellence, premiumness. So having typos like I had, because my grammar sucks. I suck at grammar. I had so many. Fun fact, I had an iron iron straightener for hair straightener, right?
Hair straightener,
right? So the brand name was Vixton, and it was professional, but professional with double F, not with double S. And I wrote that. So like, I misspelled the most important word, professional. So I was professional.
No one trusted you right out the gate.
Nobody saw that. So we fixed it quickly, but that's something that I will love for like my entire life. Like, don't screw up like that. Always check your spelling and stuff like that. But that's of course not the most important, but you have to match. We thought about that a lot, and I've talked with many guys about that. Like, how do I convince you that I'm match, that I'm premium? The images, the visuals. This is the most important thing. It's nothing on Amazon can convince you that you are a luxury product than your visuals. It's actually, that's what it sells. It's the images. It's nothing else. When you tell me bullshit that A+ doesn't work, well, you don't know shit in that case, or you're in your own head. Because you tell me that Apple doesn't work, or like when you go in an Apple store and all what they build there doesn't work, and all that is made on purpose so you convert, so you buy. So every detail communicates premiumness and excellence, and it's built on purpose. And on Amazon, you can't touch the products. You can only interact with them visually. So how do you say that? Well, you associate yourself with premium brands. So if you have a premium cutting board, if you put a $10 knife next to it, well, dude, you're not going to be premium, because you have to have something like a $300 knife over there, a nice granite countertop, a nice home interior. If you put a shitty backdrop or in white, and your design language is crappy, that's not
and it's all photoshopped, and it's all photoshopped, but not like a real high quality photo.
Fiverr. And it's taken with an, I don't know, old camera, and the angles is all crooked up. And I'm
Yeah.
saying that not because I want to shit on someone. Like, I did all those mistakes, guys. I'm not saying that you're stupid for not doing that. It's just maybe you didn't grew into that yet. You didn't understood it, didn't came to that yet. But like, it will come to you at one point or not. And if not, like, I have to re-watch that stuff and just like rethink it. We have to be delivering the right message. Otherwise, you just won't sell it. If
So
you
when you're
have, you can
saying
have
talking to your audience, when you're saying talking to your audience, you're actually saying talk to them in their visual language. What kind of kitchen do they have? What kind of knife do they use? They are not the Walmart shopper. This is a Whole Food shopper, right? It's a different price point.
You don't want a Walmart shopper. He will
No.
return the product. He will screw it up. For example, our products, you can't put them in the dishwasher. I have a sticker big like that on it, and it says, stop, don't put it in the dishwasher. It's not about stop, don't return it, like contact us. No, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
It's like, don't put in the dishwasher. It's big like that, red, with a washing machine. Still, I have people that actually do that and leave me a review and say like, banded. Well, wood doesn't bend by itself. Like, it can't unless it
No.
has moisture on one side and no other. But we go too geeky on that stuff. But if you have a premium customer that understands what's a luxury product, how to care for it, he'll pay more attention. It's like in an agency when you hire when you get a customer that is ready to pay premium product for your service versus somebody who will, I don't know, find you on Fiverr, for example, or a Fiverr customer that comes to you and is ready to pay, I don't know, $50 for a product. He will brag the hell out of it. He will always return for I don't know, fixes and stuff like that. When you have a proper audience and you have the right customer, he's ready to pay, he means business, he will come, he will get your service. If you intrinsically, if you're doing a good service, he will just be happy. He will just say, well, I need help with this. You do it and he's happy. But if you go with the wrong audience, you have the wrong results and it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating, man. So one of the things that we work on when we're working with brands is I don't know how to describe this. I don't have really elegant language for this, but there's this gap between how we talk business to business. Like if we're going to talk about your you know, whatever the product is, let's say a cutting board, we're going to talk, or steam iron. Let's do a steam iron. You were talking about flat iron before, but let's talk about steam iron. If we're going to talk about that product, we're going to talk about it like, well, you know, the plate is really flat and it gets hot quick, and it's got an automatic shut off, and the capacity for the amount of water that's inside this, that's great. It's very like factual how we talk about it, because that's how we talk about it with our manufacturer. It's how we talk about it internally. And I never hear Amazon sellers talking about it in terms of the benefits for the shopper. And what ends up happening is that all of that business language ends up right on the listing. And so we basically just start listing out facts. This product does this. This product does that. This product does this. And these aren't the great products. I'm talking about the ones that are more mediocre. And so we spend a lot of time working on polishing that language that's more shopper focused. Like if we take like the auto shut off, the safety feature, that we make it clear it's like, this is safe for pets and dogs. This is safe. It won't burn your shirt, right? Things like that. That's where I feel like a lot of sellers really get things wrong. They know what sells the product. They know what like will make it sell, but they don't know how to communicate it.
Dude, you're talking my language, kind of like this is my type of stuff. Like, I love it. Listen, what is conversion rate? Conversion rate is having an clear messaging filled with substance plus social proof. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Three things. And you can actually ditch the social proof. It's not the most important part. It's substance communicated the right way. Clearly, you have to get out of the way and just deliver the message clearly. No resistance. It has to be to the point, sharp, clear, and in the right order. Because here's the thing, we have 6 images on Amazon. First image is made for 2 things, to impress you and to grab you inside the listing. Once you're there, I'm not going to study too much the main image. I'm going to go to the second image. And if you're telling me bullshit on that second image, you have such a big chance for me to bounce because I'm on a marketplace. I'm not on your Shopify. So my energy level that I can deplete on this is kind of like going away fast. You have like 6-7 seconds to probably, maybe even less right now. So if you're not communicating the right things at the right time, you're going to lose the customer. She's going to bounce and he will see an ad and he will jump off. So the message has to be to the point, clear, important, the most important. Don't talk bullshit in your second images. For example, if we're selling a water bottle, right? What's important for a water bottle? It's how it fits in your back pocket on your backpack, or it's how long does it keep the water cold? How is it to clean? How easy is it to drink from it, the opening stuff and the hook to hold it? And if it fits in your car cup holder, that's it. It's 3 things. And how easy is it to open, close? It's kind of like you can sell anything with 4 to 5 points.
Major selling points.
You can sell a car with 3 points.
Right.
If you are a family, if you're a mom of 3 kids, you're a soccer mom, let's say, in your 30s, you want to buy a car. You're driving down the highway and you're seeing a sign for a Honda Odyssey, whatever that SUV is it. And on that, you have like just a few seconds to spot a message. But you're in the market already. You're thinking about the new car, right? And you're seeing something being talked about, how much it can hold on the roof. You lost it. But if you talk about, I don't know, 50K, 30 miles per gallon, whatever, and fits 8 people, you got me hooked. And the address, where is it? Like, I don't know, Honda, New Jersey. That's it. You got the interest of the right audience. Because if you talk the wrong stuff, you're going to lose the customer.
Right.
We need clear information to the right point. And the substance is also the most kind of important one. Because if you don't have substance, but substance is a pretty sophisticated one. And there's like layers and layers to substance. Substance is brand as well. Substance is quality of the product. And those are completely different things. And you have to know how to build it. And the brand, well, forget about brand. You just started on Amazon, or I don't know, even if you have like 2-3 years, you don't have a brand yet. You're building it.
Right.
Building a brand is hard. We can dive into that as well if you want.
So
But
this
like,
might be intuitive to you. So I need to make sure that the audience who it's not intuitive to understands the actual psychology behind this. Okay. How do you come up with those 3, 4, 5 points? Because you don't know your, day one, you don't know. How do you get to that point where you know your audience and you can come up with the right selling points to get them to buy?
it's actually, you know it, but you running around and you try to bullshit yourself, and also you're all in your head and you're full of biases. You have to define your customer avatar. It's the first thing you're doing before even sourcing, like you're looking on Alibaba for a product. Well, you find something interesting. Second thing you have to think is, who I'm going to sell this to.
Yeah.
Who is the buyer? Is that a garlic press? Who's the buyer? Is that a water bottle? Who's the buyer? And then you think, okay, what else can I sell to them? So you take a paper and you start writing down. We have ChatGPT. You just say, I want to sell a water bottle. Who's the ideal customer avatar? It's a water bottle this size with that stuff. Who's the ideal customer avatar? Man, you'll be amazed of what it does. We're now building the customer avatar for Sellametrics because we want to implement some new things. And it's crazy what that thing does. It builds it for you beautifully with psychological portraits, with all the things, with interest that you won't be able to write it. It's very nice, and you can optimize that after. So that's not a problem. It's you just have to spend, I don't know, an hour on that, and then you're golden. For example, for a water bottle, who is it? Is it 24 to 45 years old women, probably living in it's a middle class to upper class salary wise, right? So it's like 50,000 up. It probably mid education is mid and up. Live in rural and like more suburbs and urban environments like New York or San Francisco. I don't know, is interested in shopping. She's shopping on Amazon. She's watching Instagram and all that stuff, right? So now you have an idea. Well, how do you communicate with that woman? Well, your fonts have to be the proper way. Your messaging has to be the proper way. Your language has to be the proper way. Your photography has to be the proper way. If it's for a woman, black, forget about that. Like, really, guys, on Amazon, black sucks usually, right? Black color is very, very sophisticated, and it usually lowers the conversion rate. So sometimes it works when it's for dudes, but also
When it's for
you have
dudes,
to be
yeah. I was
careful.
thinking maybe for men, you know, in some situations.
Have to be careful. But for women, it's more pastel colors, more soft colors, more refined fonts. But don't go with all that burlesque, like scrolling stuff and all that stuff. That doesn't work. Readability is the most important stuff. I look at the stuff, and in 2-3 seconds, I have to read and understand, what are you talking about? What's the main message in that image? When I see images without messages, I'm like, what are we talking about? Or when it's like a book over there. I was told, is I used to do that before. I was talking with a friend, and I give him a little bit of critique on his listing, and when he looked at mine, he's like, dude, you have a book in there. You have to simplify it.
Simplify it.
Yeah.
What ratio do you think an image should have text to imagery? 80-20, 70-30? What's the right ratio there for the look and feel?
Oh, the ratio, it's really a question of aesthetics and how does that look. You shouldn't really overcrowd the image. The image, you have to be able to scan it in like 0.2 seconds, like 3 seconds, it's too much. Like 1 second you look and it's like, because we don't read book word for word, we scan like a few words together. So we basically digest quick like that. So if it's broken down properly, so we have like segments, most important, you have the hierarchy of the information on the listing, on the image. So first is your image. But actually, you know how when we build the listings for our customers, first I'm putting down the main messages that I want to say. I put the main image and I'm looking. I have the customer avatar next to me, and I'm starting writing down the most important features that I'm going to say, benefits and features. So I'm listing them and I'm sorting them on the priority, which is the most important. This one goes first image. And then I'm going to build the image for that. I'm not doing the image and then inventing what the hell I'm going to say in that image. It's like when you do a YouTube, you first do the thumbnail because you first think of an idea, what that video is going to be about. Same here. It's like you make first the message, you craft the message, the sub message, and maybe 1-2 points, not more, like 1 icon, 2 icon. It has to be, don't crowd it. Be simple and clear. You don't need 20 messages on a listing. That's bullshit. It's not true. Like, I can sell anything with 5 messages.
So I think this is important for the audience to hear this, though, Andrei, because like what you just said makes perfect sense to me, just to be clear. But I think it's worth like highlighting this. Your general process for like these gallery images is to think message first and then find the image that kind of fits that message. So you're developing the headline, you're developing the sub headline, whatever that is, and you've got these other things in mind that you're talking about. You've got your woman audience. You're not going to use the burlesque font. You've got the pastel concepts in your head. Maybe you've got a mood board or something, right, that you've developed. Fine. But at the end of the day, like, you're starting message first and then fill in the rest of the image to round out those.
Yep. That's the thing. But that is usually, if we do only that, then we're going to lose it. Because I can bet that you'll get it wrong. What we do is first we benchmark ourselves. So when a customer comes to us and we do the listing, we do an A/B test. And why I built actually Sellametrics, and I built a custom tools like we don't have in other places. We have listing simulators. So we simulate an Amazon environment where we download your images on an Amazon-like page. So we make it look just like Amazon. Then we make 2 of them and we split test them, because how that message is being perceived on Amazon is completely different versus if I take your images out of the context and I put them on a white Canva and I have 6 images and I let you vote on them. First, the size of the image is super important. And none of my competition does that. That's weird, but they don't do that. And I was thinking of that for 2 years. We finally built it. And this changed the way my conversion works. This changed the way my service works. And this changed the ways people that come to us, the results of the work. So once we do those benchmarks, we get an idea of like, where do you stand versus your best seller, best competitor. So you understand, okay, this image got so many, because our people, when they go and they vote on those images, they give you a rating per each image. So each image is being rated from 1 to 5, right? So you get a pattern of those ratings, you get a total score, and you get a comment, and you get the same for the second product. And then they're being asked, but which one would you actually buy? So after they rate it, they actually, but I like this one more. So often I have a result where like they like the image is on the left, but they buy the other product, and you're like, why the heck? Why is that? That's when you go like, oh shit, like something is off here. That's the best part actually, because you understand there's a problem, and when there's a problem, you can improve a lot. Because when it's clear defined, you're like, okay, like this is better. Like I'm just gonna basically copy what's there and take it to myself, right? But you do all that analysis, you understand where you stand, you read the negatives, you read the positives, and you take that data and you implement it in your stuff, and you start working, and then you retest. So when you win considerably, that's when you have something interesting. And usually it matches. If we win over there, we win. But if you do a simple A/B test, like a head-by-head stuff, that stuff usually doesn't work all the time, because there's images that work great in this size, but when I zoom it closer, it's a completely different perspective, right? So one thing you can read at this size, and it's a completely different thing if I zoom out. So main image on Amazon, it's usually a thumbnail. It's pretty small, and everyone else tests them on a big side-by-side one. Like, what you gonna see over there? Like, you can clearly see all the details, but come on, now make it small, and let's see how you perform then in that case. And it's a completely different thing, because when Sellametrics went down, I still had all my audiences, but I needed to test my products to continue the work. So I used Google Forms, and I was split testing my own audiences. And I was like, wow, why the results differ? My main image wins on my side, but when I do it on Google Form, my competitor wins, and he was winning on Amazon. I was like, there's something there. And it was that they was more readable. They can see the details better in small thumbnail than on mine. Mine was okay up close, and I did a super sophisticated shooting with like, I combined 4 images, so with different layers of focus. It's like.
So let me ask you about this though, because we work with platforms that will do A/B testing on imagery, right? So, and I won't mention them because I want to talk to you about your brand too. But one of the cautions that we share with a client is that those platforms are not the marketplace. You're going to be like the people that are voting on the quality of an image, or the attractiveness of an image, or the conversion rate quality of it. They're not actually putting money out of their pocket to buy it. And so because of that, their optics, they look at it slightly differently. I understood your point about the thumbnail versus the, higher fidelity on the image. What about this other piece where it's an audience bias?
Listen, if I show you 2 women's, one attractive, one unattractive, which one are you gonna pick? You're gonna spot right away the unattractive, even if you're not in the market to get a new wife, right? To marry. You're gonna spot
I'm definitely not in the market for
product. I'm not associating women's with products, but you see 2 people, you will right away spot a good haircut versus a bad haircut, and you're not in the market for a haircut. Now, it has to be in the right environment. Those are also Amazon. Those are people that have Amazon accounts. 70% of our voters have Amazon accounts, and you're gonna say those are not shoppers? Yes, they are. They're not in the market at that point for a product. That's why we do those simulations. So we try to replicate the experience as much as possible. It's called immersion, right? You try to immerse them in that experience. So you try to be as close as possible. And that's where you have the discrepancy. Well, it's gonna be a little bit. That's why trying to eliminate all the resistance, clarify your message as maximum as possible, so the thing gets better. right? So then you have a higher chance of performing better on Amazon. But I'm ready to bet money on things like that, because if you have shitty results on A/B split testing, you're gonna have shitty results on Amazon as well.
Yeah, and I feel like A/B split testing, Andre, has to be a clear winner. That's another thing. Like, there's no 51% 49, so that's not going to do anything. So you got to have a 70-30. You got to have an 80-20, like a clear, okay, this one is going to win on Amazon. Maybe the spread on Amazon won't be as high, but it's still going to win on Amazon.
Yeah. And there's so many fine tuning. It's like going back and forth, going and looking for the bad comments, actually, because the difference what we have is like they rate each image. So you go on each comment and you see like he rated all of your images, but one of them is like 3 out of 5. Like, why? Some of them mentioned you. We're actually adding now additional feedback for each image, so you'll be able to actually see like comments for each image, like what they exactly don't like. But you can still spot that and say like, okay, they didn't like that, and they mentioned to you. For example, how I came to the conclusion that people in the images don't really help selling. And that was like bump, because I had that idea for some time. I noticed that, listen, something is not okay. Too many humans don't really help sell supplements. They actually damage your conversion rate in anything. Like 99% of products on Amazon are hurt by having humans. Go to the top selling supplements on Amazon and count how many humans they have, like full body, like trying to mimic the actors, like stock images, like somebody like selling collagen and like an activity, somebody paddling or like drinking something and running. Like, this is bullshit. I'm in a market for a collagen. Give me exact details about the product. And they say like that, like, why are you showing me model? Show me details about the product. Give me like, where is it from? How is it made? What certifications you have? All the benefits, features, all that stuff. But there's the aesthetics. It has to be made nicely, because you can make a bunch of infographics, they will look like crap. That's usually the case, because people think that it looks good to them. But listen, big percentage of humans have bad taste. Bad, me including, right? My wife tells me like, well, you dress like shit. Well, let's change it, right? Like, that shit doesn't work. Like, she said, like, is this good? She's like, yeah, okay, wife approved. So you have to have the right visual, the right aesthetics. It has to be properly made. Go look at Physician Choice on Amazon. Sells 100,000 probiotics on. Count how many humans they have. They could afford 10 shootings by, I don't know, spend 100K on that shooting. Easy.
It's kind of a good point, Andre, because, when I'm buying, I like workout stuff. I like workout supplements. So when I'm looking, I'm not paying attention to, look at that guy's abs. I'm focusing on what's the sourcing of the product, how many milligrams, does it clump, what's the flavor profile, is there sugar, what are the alternative sweeteners, the stuff that matters. I don't care about some dude's ripped abs. Like, I get it, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people misunderstood it. You know why? Because humans actually help. But you know when? In advertising, in bringing awareness to the product on Instagram, on TikTok. For example, you saw that post in MDS about the glutes, right? There was a product that had like a woman with nice glutes. And that ad was doing a lot of stuff, because women saw a lot of women with nice glutes, and she's like, okay, I want the same stuff. That brings her to the product, and now you sell with facts, like it's BCAA, it's creatine, it's this, it's that, and like it makes your booty grow and makes that stuff and that stuff. But you don't see a lot of booties over there, because it's not about that. Okay, I want that. I know what I want now. Now, like, sell it to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe I'm too energetic, but like I'm getting crazy when there's so many of that stuff.
No, I like it. The other things that I've been thinking about too is like, the clients that we work with, I'd probably say 1 out of 20 maximum. And I'm just putting a number around this just to give us scale. I actually talk to their customers. 19, 18, 17. I literally never talk to a human being who buys our products. They never do it. And they're using ChatGPT and they're using, you know, these comparison platforms. But at the end of the day, they never really actually connect with their shopper, either afterwards or beforehand. They don't use it as part of the design process, you know, whether it's like product design or the listing design. And I just find that so fascinating.
I'm doing so many labels and listings, and I don't need to talk with the customer of that product. And I can guarantee that many times I'm hitting the nail right in the head with the proper image. It's not about that. Yes, you as a brand owner, you have to talk because you will better understand your market. As a designer, I do tests in the right environment. I understand where is that. I'm reading your reviews. I'm analyzing your product. I'm trying to enter in that state. I'm split testing the shit out of it, and then at the end, I will get into it. I will understand it. I'm researching the product a lot, and I'm talking to you because, for example, we get the best results when my service is different from anybody else. It's like I'm trying to replace you, the owner. So it's like, okay, you can do something else, like I'll do this product, but it's good when I can feedback with you and we talk about the messages that goes on the label. For example, when I do a label on a supplement, we're gonna bounce and back the messages that goes on that bottle. It's super important what you're saying. The game has changed a lot since like 5 years ago in supplements. Right now it's all about giving the most important thing first so they can read it clearly on that bottle. You don't need hundreds of berries around it, or you don't need a lot of like things. Nope. You need a very beautiful bottle with like 3-4 important things laid out over there.
Yep. Right in the middle. It's like improves digestion. You know, like what are those 3 things that are the most popular things? The milligrams, very important. Organic certification. Yeah. I'm with you 100%.
Absolutely.
So, you know, just for the sake of time, I want you to put a plug in for your company, and if there's going to be any offer that we could share as a discount for first-time users, we will share that. Is there going to be anything that we can share on the show notes?
Yeah. So I'm gonna craft a page. You'll tell me a name that you want for the end of the URL, right? What you want to have at the sellametrics.com whatever you like. It should be short, so it's nice. And once you achieve that page, guys, there would be $100 bonus on top on all the bonuses that we give if you subscribe to a monthly package. It's a trial, but we give $100 like that already if you take it, and we'll give you $100 on top of that if you come from you. And the subscription goes as it's stackable, so it doesn't burn. So if you subscribe, you can buy a package for $90, and if you don't use it this month, and I can tell you that if you're a serious seller, $100 goes like that on split testing. We do probably like 3-4 split tests to understand something with the product. Usually 5, it's enough for me to basically finish sometimes the product. So $100 is nothing, but if you don't use it, it gets to the second month. And I recommend testing each month because things change. And the second thing is my agency that we're just launching now. It's called Growly. So it's GROWLI.co. And we're doing custom work for select customers. So basically we take your Amazon listing and we take it from A and we bring it to B and we improve your conversion rate. We're not guaranteeing you 100%, but we've seen that. But even if we give it to a 10% increase in conversion rate, that's going to be amazing if you're a serious seller.
Yes, it will be. 10% is big. Well, that's awesome. We will share it. I'll send you the slug and we'll share that $100 credit on Sellametrics. Andrei, it's been extremely illuminating, and this is the kind of stuff that I think people should be nerding out on. there's way too much focus on media buying and PPC and not enough on the listing quality. And this is
too many keyword stuff, too much stuff, too many bullet points. It's not only about that. It's images. It's not what you think you are. It's what they think you are about you.
100%.
And you have to build an impression, and it has to be quick.
Yeah, and we're spending so much time and so much effort and so much discussion around optimizing around Amazon's A9 engine. What about the people that actually give you the money?
Exactly.
Right.
You're being judged by your look. Literally, when they land, they right away look and like, okay, does this like lives to my expectation? What I thought it should be? No, bounce.
And it's an emotional response. It's a total emotional, just not
always
interested. Bye-bye.
Pain, emotion.
Yeah, we need time on listing, like they do for Google, like time on page.
I've seen by magic happening by adding a premium A+, but if it's the right premium A+. Of course, it doesn't work if you hire somebody from Fiverr for $20 and does something for you. But think about that, guys. If you're a serious seller and you have a product that sells about 10,000 units a month and you're doing about $300,000 on it, and you're making like $50,000 profit on it each month, and you want to optimize that product with like $500 with somebody from Pakistan or from China or from whatever it can be a specialist over there as well. I'm not judging that, but somebody that has like 1-2 years of experience, and you're gonna let that guy do a brain surgery on you? Like, really? Like, to me, that's mind-boggling. I don't understand. Like, I understand you want to save money, but find somebody, and I don't care if you come to me.
We need to get beers, Andrei. We need to get beers and just sit and talk about all this stuff. I agree. Like, you're right, because like the thing is sellers have in their mind, because they're busy, right? And we are too. I get it. They have in their mind that like, I need to get A+ done, and when they get it done, they've done it, right? But there's a difference between like getting it done good and getting it done great. And they think they're doing, they think that hearing that, this A+ is good is a good thing. If you want to win on Amazon, good's not good enough.
Nope.
No, it has to be phenomenal.
Yes,
it has to.
Yeah, you got to obsess over this. You have got to be obsessed over this stuff,
and not because you think it's phenomenal.
Right?
People gonna love it.
Who gives a shit what you think?
You're biased. Exactly. I don't trust my taste. I don't trust. And I've seen thousands of split tests. I kind of have a guesstimate, but it's all about them. It's like I have this. I'm managing a small brand, right, on Amazon. It's lingerie. So we did the A+ last week, and the message from the customer was, Andrei, you created a monster. What we did last time, we updated the A+. The last touch was it. We had to cut the ads in half. The thing was still doing like $7,000 a day, $7,000 a day in sales. It's not huge, but it's pretty considerable. It's like 300 units because that's $15. And what we did, the last thing was we just turn on the A+ premium. I did the A+ before that. When I look at it right now, I'm ashamed of it. It sucks because it's ugly. It's 4 years old. Things changed so much since then. Like we have 4K monitors, we have Retina displays. Like everything is like big and large, and everything that when the A+ came in a few years ago, it looked amazing. But now they have A+ big with videos, with slides, and all that thing improves. So changes.
100%, man. I will say this too. Like there are brands who are going to listen to this podcast, and when you get your conversion rate dialed in, you get 20% ACOs. You get 30% ACOs. So the brands that are out there struggling to get below 50, below 45, below 40. When you look at, this is how we do it. So when you look at your keywords, you look at those medium tail, highly relevant. If you can't make money on those, like if you can't be profitable on those, you've got a listing problem, or you got a competitive problem. It could be more things than just the listing, but you could have a poor offer. But assuming you don't have a poor offer, assuming you're competitive, just on price point, your cost of goods sold at a point where you can make margin, you have a listing problem. You have a communication issue with your shopper, and you've got to address that.
Yeah, I've seen it many times. Good listing, does everything good, doesn't convert for the main keywords that it should be. If it's a garlic press and you're not converting for stainless steel garlic press and your stainless steel garlic press, your listing sucks. Your offer sucks. one of those, there's a mistake, there's something off over there, or there's too many good like you, and just sorry guys, but the market is like so crazy, so you have to differentiate with like obnoxious good stuff.
We spend so much time doing education on this too. Like, it's important to call out, you cannot look at your product level conversion rate to get this answer. There's too much noise in that data. You have got to isolate your keyword data down to things that are relevant, root phrases, root words, whatever those things are for you. This is how we look at the data. When we do that, now we have clarity. And now that we know it's not a keyword problem. Now we know it's something else, right? Listing, offer, whatever it is.
If you know how to look at the data properly, then it will tell you the story.
Yeah, which is what we do, right? That's what we're very good at the
data.
Yeah. But
so you read it properly. It's like me looking at a financial statement is not as good as somebody who has an accounting education or something like that, right? They would read it better than me, or books, whatever that would be. So yeah, it's important.
This is great.
All right, well, I'm gonna end it here.
We're all like high-fiving each other. Yep, totally get it.
We gotta stay under an hour. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Andrei, and we will definitely leave that offer for our audience. And I look forward to hearing more about your journey in the future.
That was really a pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me. Like, that was suddenly, and thanks, Brian, for hooking us up,
introducing us. Yeah,
we never had beers before, but next time we see each other, that's a must. Thanks a lot, guys. It was a real pleasure.
Thanks, Andrei.
Awesome, man. Thank you.